The story of Jesus, the trial. When truth was put on trial, the night was not over. Jesus had been arrested, taken in the darkness, surrounded by accusations, abandoned by those who once stood beside him. Everything was happening fast, too fast. There was no time to process, no time to understand, no time to stop what was unfolding, because this moment had already been set in motion. He was brought before the high priest, a place of authority, a place of judgment, a place where truth was supposed to matter. But that night, truth was not what they were looking for. They were looking for a reason to accuse, a reason to condemn, a reason to justify what they had already decided. And so the trial began. Witnesses came forward, one after another, but their stories didn't match. Their words contradicted each other. Their accusations fell apart because lies struggled to stand when exposed. But still, they kept trying, because when someone is determined to reject truth, evidence doesn't matter. Finally, they turned directly to him. The high priest stood. The room grew quiet. All eyes fixed on Jesus. Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One? A simple question, but not really, because this was not about understanding. This was about confrontation. And Jesus answered, not with hesitation, not with fear, not with silence. I am. And in that moment, everything changed, because truth had just been spoken, clearly, directly, without compromise. And truth demands a response. The high priest tore his garments. Outrage, shock, anger, blasphemy. But was it? Or was it the refusal to accept what was true? Because sometimes people don't reject truth because it is unclear. They reject it because it confronts them, because it challenges their position, because it demands surrender. And surrender is not easy. They condemned him, not because they proved anything, but because they chose to. And then, what was unjust became violent. They began to mock him, to strike him, to blindfold him. Prophesy, who hit you? This was no longer a trial. This was humiliation. This was rejection. This was the moment where humanity showed what it does when it refuses truth. And Jesus remained silent, not because he had nothing to say, but because everything had already been said. Truth had been spoken, and now it was being rejected. Then they took him to Pilate, a Roman governor, a man of power, a man who understood authority. But even he saw something different. Pilate questioned him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Again, a moment, a decision, and Jesus answered, "You have said so." Pilate looked at him, studied him, listened to the accusations, watched the crowd, and something became clear. There was no real crime, no real reason, no real guilt. I find no basis for a charge against him. But the crowd grew louder, because truth does not always win in the moment. Sometimes the louder voice takes over. Sometimes pressure speaks louder than reason. Pilate hesitated. He knew, he understood, but he also felt something else. Pressure, the weight of the crowd, the risk of conflict, the fear of losing control. And so, he looked for a way out, a tradition, a custom. During the festival, one prisoner could be released, a choice, Jesus or Barabbas, one innocent, one guilty, one who brought truth, one who brought violence, and the crowd chose Barabbas. It didn't make sense. It wasn't logical. It wasn't just. But it happened. Because when hearts are hardened, they don't choose truth. They choose what aligns with what they already want. What shall I do with Jesus? Pilate asked. And the answer came back, louder than before. Crucify him. 3 words, simple but heavy, because they carried the weight of what was about to happen. Pilate washed his hands, a symbolic act, an attempt to remove responsibility. But the truth is, you cannot wash away a decision. And so, Jesus was handed over, not because he was guilty, but because truth was rejected, because pressure won, because fear spoke louder than conviction. Today, this moment still speaks, because the question remains the same. What do you do with truth? Do you accept it, even when it challenges you? Do you stand for it, even when it costs you? Or do you step back and let the crowd decide? Because many people today live like Pilate. They see what is right. They know what is true. But when pressure comes, they stay silent. They avoid the decision. They try to remain neutral. But neutrality is still a choice. And maybe that's where you are. In a moment of decision, a moment where truth is in front of you, a moment where you feel the pressure, the fear, the uncertainty, and you don't know what to do. But this story reminds us of something powerful. Truth does not change. Even when it is rejected, Jesus did not become less who he was, because people refused to accept him. And the same is true today. You may feel pressure. You may feel fear. You may feel like standing for what is right will cost you something. But truth is still truth. And the question remains, what will you do with it? If this message spoke to you, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, and comment. I choose truth.